my parenting decisions have caused me many sleepless nights. Now, I know a lot of us will expect having sleepless nights at the start, especially they say the first 3 months are the hardest when you've just had a baby. And people tell you it does get better. And it does get better in certain parts. But what if I told you my sleep isn't because of night feeds or my kids having bad dreams or just generally them being poor sleepers? My sleepless nights are because I was up worrying. My biggest problem is that I'm a people pleaser. And so with that came a lot of responsibility that I put on myself to really take on board what other people were saying and other people's thoughts and opinions. Now, when I was a first-time mum, that was really overwhelming because not only was I learning to look after another person, I was learning what it was to be a mum, but I was also then having to take on other people's thoughts and opinions and advice, and it was crazy. And what I soon realised was that I was becoming unhappy. And there's that quote, isn't there? That parenting is one of the easiest things in the world to have an opinion about, but it is the hardest thing in the world to do. And that's what I was finding. I was finding so many people around me giving me so many opinions on what to do because they've recently become a mum and it worked for their child, or they've had endless experience because they've had 5 or 6 kids. But what worked for them wasn't working for me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. They seemed all happy and everything was working out really, really well. But why wasn't it working out for me? I used to spend so many nights worrying about what they thought about the choices that I were making, and that created so much uncertainty, unhappiness and anxiety within myself, and without realising that was being passed on to my daughter. But I soon realised that having confidence in myself and really taking ownership of my life would make me happy. So I started working on things that I could do to really start focusing on myself and my daughter and blocking out everyone else's thoughts and opinions. It took a lot of time, but I had to really work on my own feelings and really start believing in myself and believing in the decisions that I were making were right for me and right for her. So, what I've got for you are 5 surefire ways in which you can eliminate the worry and really focus on the confident decisions that you're going to make for yourself and your child, and freeing yourself from everyone else's opinions. Tip number 1, focus on what matters. Everyone around you will have an opinion, and I found that out myself as well. And what you've got to do is, in that moment, take on the advice, listen to the opinion, listen to the thought, go away, think about it, process it, and really focus on what matters, which is your happiness and the happiness of your child. And if that piece of advice that you've just received, you feel isn't going to benefit you or positively enhance your child's life, then leave it. The worst thing you can do is, at the time someone's giving you an opinion, is to fire back, because you're going to start damaging relationships along the way. So listen to what they've got to say, take on, in that moment, what they're trying to tell you, but then walk away. You don't have to agree to anything in that moment. Walk away and focus on what matters, which is you and your child. And if it isn't going to benefit either of you, then forget about it. Point number 2, don't try and please everyone. It is going to be impossible to meet everybody else's expectations. And why should you anyway? Whatever works between you and your partner, and whatever decisions you've made in which how to raise your children, then that should be the only thing that matters. And that should be the only thing that you need to focus on as an individual. People pleasers end up being miserable themselves, and I found that the hard way. So I'm offering this advice to you now. You are never going to be able to achieve and meet everybody else's expectations. You could do everything by the book and someone will still have an opinion. Just be true to yourself. Be fair to your child. And make sure you are happy and content so that that is getting fed to your children as well. Point number 3, keep perspective. Quite a lot of the time when someone gives you an opinion, it's got more to do with them rather than what it's got to do with you. So someone might give you an opinion because they made a mistake in their lives and they're not sharing that opinion with you to make sure you don't do it. It's to almost justify what they did in their lives. And quite a lot of people may not like what you do. And that's fine. You know, what works for one child won't work for another. And what worked for that person's child won't work for yours, and vice versa. Everyone has different parenting styles. Everyone has different ways of handling their children. But you know your child best. And that goes on to point number 4, which is no one is living your life. So no one is going to know what you have to endure day in, day out. They haven't had that sleepless night. They haven't had the worry on their shoulders. They haven't had to be up 3 or 4 times in the night to change nappies, to feed, to this, that and the other. And they might just give you that little 2 pennies worth that might tip you over the edge. But always remember, you know best. So like I've said before, don't react in the moment. You may be burning with adrenaline and burning with emotion and just feel like, what do you think you're doing? But stop. Reflect and pause, walk away and deal with it another day. Point number 5, stop overthinking. A lot of the problems that we feel like are going on are not really going on. It's all in here. And what we tend to do is we feel like people are judging us because we're so critical of ourselves, and they're probably not. But what we're doing is, because we're overthinking and we're overanalyzing everything, we are picking the bones of things, picking at things, overanalyzing a sentence or a word or a conversation that we had with someone, trying to read between the lines. And that way you're only hurting yourself and maybe damaging your relationship with that person as well. So please stop overthinking. Just take everything at face value, accept what you want to accept, and really focus on recognizing when you're overthinking and figure out a way to stop it. We learn how to parent through our mistakes. So here's my advice to you. Don't ever doubt yourself. Yes, you are going to make mistakes along the way. You're going to do something and think, oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that. Or what happened there? Why didn't I react to that better? But that's okay. We are learning as we go along. And the more kids you have, the better at it you will get. Okay? Because the second time round will get a little bit easier. When I had my first daughter, things were unknown. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never been a mum before. I didn't have a clue what to expect. However, when my youngest came along, I was a little bit more prepared. I kind of knew the signs. I didn't panic every time she did something, or I also became stronger. I became stronger in taking on board what I wanted to in terms of other people's opinions, and stronger to say, actually, you know what? Thanks for that, but I'm going to do it this way. And you've almost acknowledged that you appreciate what they've said, but you're going to do it this way instead. And that is absolutely fine. And that's what I became stronger at doing with my second child. Get that doubt out of your head and really believe in your capabilities and your abilities. And tell yourself every morning that you are a loving, caring and understanding parent that strives to keep your children safe at all times. Wake up and tell yourself that every morning, because the more you tell yourself, the more you'll start believing it as well. Be confident in the decisions that you are making when it comes to your parenting, shaping a happier, more secure and enjoyable family setting for you all. And if in doubt and you feel like everything's crumbling again and you're struggling to manage everyone's opinions and thoughts, that's okay. Just stop, take a deep breath, and start again. Parenting is a journey with so many speed bumps along the way. I really appreciate you tuning into this video, and if you are someone who is currently homeschooling your littlies, then you might find one of my other videos interesting. I go through tips, tricks and techniques in order to fill in the blanks that you have to deal with on a general homeschooling day. Take care.